Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until around 5 o'clock. Till around 5 o'clock. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. 513-717-5464. It's the number to get on board. How y'all doing? I'm having a pretty good day. I had I wouldn't say it was an eventful morning, but it was funny. I had a funny morning. It was funny to me. If I told you what happened, it wouldn't be funny to you. You wouldn't. You had to be me in that situation to get the humor. But I had a good morning. Let me see. Say my hellos real quick. Terry Anderson, good afternoon. Anthony, good afternoon. Butler Brown, out of Cartersville, Georgia. Sabrina, it's my sister Brainy. Good afternoon. Tony, what's up? Olympia. I'm sorry, I put Tony up and it didn't show yet. Tony, what's up? Got Olympia in the house. Regina, good afternoon. Black Lion, what's up? Karen, hey, what's up? Sierra Brooks Hola. Kenneth Jones, great day, sir. Pamela Kinney, good afternoon. North Avondale. I don't know, I kind of went away from the give me your where you from. But I would like it if y'all would share that information, just so we can kind of be connected as a community across multiple states and all of that kind of stuff. Sean, good afternoon. Cam, peace. Brenda, hello. Miss Pittsburgh, good afternoon. Nat, yo. Ross, he told me what that meant before, but hello. Jason, good afternoon. Dwayne, good afternoon. TC, good afternoon. Diane, it's a good Taco Tuesday, listening from Covington. Is there a place where they have good tacos? Like, for real good tacos? Anybody know a decent taco spot? David, good afternoon. Let me see. So ready for this day. I'm assuming you meant to be over. Sean says he from ATL. Black Lion saying, what's up? Bonita. Let me see. We got Brian. I thought I saw Tony already. What's up, Tony? Crystal. We got Andrea. Oh, hold on a second. When I get this call, I got to take it. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. It's an accident. Andrea, Angela, Agave and Rye. Oh, that's a spot for tacos. Okay, where is that? I've never heard of it. Well, we got Robert. Fame says it's nice to see me. Y'all, just so y'all know, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to the State of the Union address. Hold on, let me say my hand. I don't want nobody to be left out. Yo Underwood, good afternoon. Carolyn, good afternoon. And That's Diane replying to John Ludd 24. Good afternoon. All right. I don't have much to talk about. I'm actually just looking forward to the State of the Union address. I was debating, do I go live and watch the State of the Union address? I'm not sure. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. So look around about 9 o'clock. Only reason I hesitate to do it, because sometimes it'd be like an hour and a half. 2 hours feel like long. And sometimes I'll be watching it and I get to nod now because I'll be sleepy. I'm 52. I'm getting old. I don't take naps during the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Lincoln old, but I'm, a little old. I get sleepy right around, 10, 15-ish. I don't want to be on here watching Joe Biden, who ain't the most energetic guy in the world. Not the most charismatic. And I be nodding out. Y'all be watching me like he going to sleep. And I know y'all be roasting me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. What else? There was a thing that I saw. Oh, you know what I wanted to, okay. One of the things that happened to me today on my way out is I'm driving down the road and, where you driving, people can go in and come out of businesses, but you're on a main road. And this particular vehicle, they come and they, if this is say the edge of I have to do it where y'all can see. If this is say the edge of the road, this car comes and they stick their front and it's sticking out from the edge of the road. I might have did it the wrong way. It don't matter. However I do it, y'all can't really tell what I'm talking about. But it's sticking out in the edge of the road. So I slow down because I don't want to hit the car and kind of go around. I figure they misjudged where the curb ends and the street begins. So I'm going to go around. And as I'm going around, it's a girl. I would give her early to mid 20s. Early to mid 20s. She got the blue hair. Now, not the blue hair, but like the kind of gray blue hair. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know any of these things. But she kind of got the gray blue hair. And I'm trying to slowly go around her so as to not hit her. And I look up and she's giving me the finger. This young girl's giving me the finger. Now, if you know anything about me, I don't like stuff like that. I don't like stuff like that. And in case you ever wondered, I'm not a high road taking guy. My house is on the low road. I travel the low road. All right? So, but I say, you know what? Young girl, I ain't gonna trip. I just go ahead and go around her. But I did notice. Her hands looked huge. Huge. And I'm like, I don't even know if that's really your female, right? Just thoughts that went through my head. I'm not sure that that's a female. Either way, I'm on my way somewhere. I ain't got time to be worried about it. So she's giving me the finger and she cussing me out with these gigantic hands. I mean, mostly all I saw was hand. Huge hand. Okay, all right, go around her. Get up to the light. And I'm a safe driver. So I leave a little bit of distance, not a lot. I'm not one of these people where I leave enough distance for a whole car to get between me and the car in front of me. But I leave a little bit of distance. I ain't right up on people's bumper when I stop at a stoplight. I think I leave a reasonable distance. Not too much, not too little. So I'm sitting there at the stoplight behind another car. They come in. I'm saying you'll know why in a second. They come in the lane next to me and go to cut me off. And so they wedge the front, like the front tip of their bumper in between me and the car in front of me. And the girl on the passenger side, I could tell she's in the car. She's looking directly in my eyes and she's saying, but she's doing that thing where they stick their tongue all the way out. You know what I'm talking about? It's a thing that some of these young girls do. Some of these young girls do, and they stick their tongue too far out. It's not ladylike. I didn't like it. But again, I'm just trying to get somewhere. I ain't got time to be worried about this. But she keep doing it and she's shaking her head while she doing it. I'm pretty sure she was a female. I didn't see an Adam's apple, and she didn't look. She didn't have a manly tongue. I mean, it looked like a woman. It looked like a young girl. So she drives. They want the thing. And they laughing at me. And again, y'all know me. It took everything in me. Hold on, I'm not gonna lie. When they sped off, when I finally, let them get in front of me and speed up, because I didn't want to hit them. I wanted to hit them, but I didn't hit them. I wanted to dart in front of them and cut them off real quick. Maybe make them slam on their brakes, spin out, flip over 3 or 4 times. Just thoughts that run through, everybody's head when they deal with this. But I didn't do any of that. I did speed up. And I did get next to them. And I did look at them and kind of shake my head like. And then, they were about to do something. I could perceive this. They were about to do something maybe a little dangerous. So I went on ahead and sped on up. Because my car got some power. So that was the end of that. But look, I was proud of myself that I didn't do anything dangerous to put anybody's life in jeopardy. But I was a little irritated. But here's what I'm telling y'all this story, because here's what I walked away from all of that. Here's what I walked away with. It's a shame nowadays that you can't even tell who a man and who a woman nowadays when you're dealing with people. She had on a lot of makeup with the gray blue hair. It could have been a man. Or it could have been a woman with just huge hands. No way to tell. I just think that's shameful. We should not live in a society where you can't tell a man from a woman. I don't know. It ain't, okay, whatever. It ain't right. But something to knowing if you're dealing with a man or a woman. In any, you know what I'm saying? I would deal with women different than I deal with men. I deal with women differently than I deal with men. I'm much more, I don't want to say unforgiving, because I'm a very forgiving person. But I'll be much more aggressive / assertive, because I see where Sierra says, does it matter in this situation? Yeah. Because had I known for certain that was a man, it would have been on. I wouldn't have just got next to him, and I would have got in front of him, brake checked him a couple times. Maybe his car spin around and flip over 4 times. He get ejected. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Yes, it makes a difference, even in that situation. I'd have felt bad about it when I read about it on the news later. Don't judge me. I would have felt bad when I read about it on the news later. But, yeah. You should be able to tell. And you should be able to tell. I'm not even going to say that. Because sometimes you can, but it's totally inappropriate. I'm not even going to say that. But again, that was just something that happened to me today. Something that I would have dealt with it differently if it was a man. A woman, a man I would have dealt with different. You should know. Kind of along that same, not really nowhere near along. Well, maybe a little bit. Along that same line, that same vein. One of the things that they say that Joe Biden is going to talk about, and one of the things that he's working on, is codifying the rights of same-sex marriage and all of that kind of stuff. Let me be clear, because I think people mistake me in this arena. So let me be clear where I am and how I feel about this, because everybody keep asking me. Not really, but I like to say that. And then that gives me the right to talk about whatever I want to talk about. So since everybody keep asking, look, here's where I am. I don't care. I know I'm supposed to be concerned about it because of the moral implications and all that. I don't care. Look, a man shouldn't marry a man, and a woman shouldn't marry a woman. If you feel that way, cool. If you're a man, don't marry a man. If you're a woman, don't marry a woman. But other than that, I don't really care. They're not hurting me. It don't hurt me for a man to marry a man. I have to be honest. I think it's nasty. And I guess that's kind of why I don't participate in that stuff. I think it's nasty. But what do it hurt me? I don't care. Like, I'm not going hard for them. Like, they got a right to do it. Throw your fists up for the... No. I'm not there with it. But I'm like, I don't care. Codify it, don't codify it, whatever. Don't force it on me. And when I say don't force it on me, if you ain't forcing me to marry a man, I'm cool. Well, what about people? Oh, wait a minute. Emanuel, I thought you were a Christian. You slipping, bro. I thought you were a preacher's kid. I don't think that matter. Let me say it like this. That don't matter to me. I'll explain something about Christians and about preachers' kids, Cam, that you possibly didn't understand. You might, but it's possible that you didn't. Christians and preachers' kids are all individuals who have their own individual beliefs. We believe a lot of stuff kind of in general, but we have our own individual beliefs and feelings about things. I'm not saying I think it's good. I'm not even necessarily saying I think it's right. I'm definitely saying I think it's nasty. But I'm saying it ain't my... If they not imposing it on me, you must marry a man. I don't care. Because you got to live your life. And you got to answer for whatever it is that you do. Now, when what you do affects me, all right, we need to have a conversation. But then people, they not hurting me. I don't like it. Like when I'm watching TV and I see the AIDS medicine commercial, I don't like that commercial. I mean, I'm glad there's AIDS medicine, but I don't like that commercial. They show dudes kissing and stuff. Nobody want to see all that. So I don't like it from that perspective. But that ain't really forcing it on me. And my wife, she always laughs at me because she like, why do you close your eyes when that part of the commercial come on? Where the two men kiss. Because I don't want to see that. It's just nasty to me. I don't want to see it. Just like if I'm watching TV, somebody gonna be offended. Like, that's not an appropriate. If I'm watching TV and white lady got her dog and the dog start licking her all up in the mouth, I'll be like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. It's nasty to me. And she can let her dog lick her in the mouth all she want to. Kiss jackals all day for all I care. As long as you don't force me to do it. As long as you don't force me to do it. And that's kind of where I am with most stuff. So, again, because everybody keep asking me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sharing. I don't like it. I wouldn't rally behind it. But I wouldn't rally against it either. I wouldn't rally against it either, as long as it don't hurt me. All right? There was something else that I wanted to discuss. But hold on, let me backtrack just a little bit. But I am tired of seeing the AIDS commercial. It is, and I don't say this in a way to demean, but it's the gayest commercial ever. The latest one, because they got a lot of them, but this latest one, I don't remember what the medicine is called, is the gayest commercial ever. And I think if I were a homosexual, I would be offended by it. Because there's so many daggone terrible stereotypes in there. And I'd be like, why do they show this commercial so much? They show it so much. But I don't know. I just, I don't want to see it. They make gay people, and all of the gay people that I know say this ain't true. But they make gay people seem so, I don't even know what sex crazed. I'm tired of seeing the commercial. Can't you just say, we got some AIDS medicine, and if you want the AIDS medicine, you know what I'm saying, it'll help you explain what it do without showing me all this gayness? The people with AIDS know it's for them. You know what I'm saying? They know. Oh my goodness. Oh, let me see. Hold on. We got a little nutty guy. They trying to sell medications. They are. I'm just tired of seeing it. Just go be gay. Go be gay on your own. Stop trying to make me see it and accept that it's normal and average. Just go do what you're doing. Just go do what you do. Gotta keep showing me the commercial. What else? I was reading a story about the police chief in Memphis. Again, I told you I don't really have nothing to talk about. So I'm rambling today. You can call in 513-717-5464 if you'd like to have a much more focused conversation. But it's just, today has been one of them days where it started with the man chick, not sure which. But either way, them hands, that's a manly. So it started with the man chick, and then it just kept kind of spiraling. I wouldn't say out of control, but it was definitely spiraling. So I ain't had time to do nothing. I looked at a few stories, and that's that. And so that's that. What was I talking about? The police chief in Memphis. The police chief in Memphis. In Memphis, they talked about, hold on, what is her name? I don't want to just call her the police chief in Memphis. Saralyn Davis, C.J. Davis. They talk about how this chief, while she might seem like she's handling this situation with Tyree Nichols well, they say that there's a really good chance that it's all her fault. It's all her fault. Like, she put together this unit, but she was over a similar unit in Atlanta, and that unit has some issues. She got fired at some point in Atlanta, but then you know how they do. They appeal and they get the job back. But they say she's kind of got a history of protecting bad officers and empowering them to overuse and abuse their authority, thus ending in them abusing people, abusing citizens. And so while she's, I guess, to some degree handling this right, because some people will say that, so while she's handling this right to some degree, people are like, but you empowered, number one, you created this, and you created it knowing you had created the Red Dog. I want to make sure I'm saying all of this stuff right. Make sure I'm saying all this stuff right. She created the Red Dog. Come on, pull up. Why are you moving slow? I got fast internet. It should not have taken that long for that story to pull up. She created the Red Dog anti-crime unit in Atlanta that they say went off the rails. And at one point, this is purely coincidental as well. They bust into a gay bar, beating up the gay people in the gay bar, made them lay on the ground on broken glass and all of that kind of stuff. So now I saw, hold on, somebody said, So that's not her fault they beat that man to death. It might not be directly her fault. It might not be directly her fault. But like, I try to, associate stuff with other stuff. I worked at McDonald's. One of my first jobs was at a McDonald's. All right. And the first manager that we had was one of them, strict guys. You can't do this, don't do that. And, he was, always all over the place, making sure everything was done the way it was supposed to be done. That was his job. That was what he did. Well, when he left, I don't know if he got promoted or whatever, but he was no longer the manager of that McDonald's. Another person took over as the manager of the McDonald's. This is the McDonald's with the sneezing incident, but we're not talking about that. Why would y'all even bring that up? We're not talking about that. When the new manager came in, the new manager was very lax in terms of the rules and the policies and the way things are supposed to be done. So very quickly, like, I'm not even talking within a matter of months. It felt like a matter of days, but at the very least, 2 weeks. By the time he was gone to 2 weeks later, man, we were not following any of the rules and guidelines. People was doing whatever they wanted to do. Like, if you did something too egregious, you know what I'm saying? You might get a talking to. You might get sent home. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But the bottom line is, everybody knew We can pretty much do whatever we want to do as long as no real big attention get drawn to it. So yeah, people was taking meat home. People was taking fries home. People was taking all, you know what I'm saying? But just breaking rules. I ain't gonna lie, I made the biggest ice cream cone for some brothers that I ever seen. It was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. I don't remember. You're supposed to do it, what was it, 3 or 4 swirls? And then, you give them the ice cream. But, they seem like good dudes. They, like, hook me up. I hook you up. I got you. That ice cream cone was probably about that high off of the, you know what I'm saying? I knew that was against the rules. I ain't charging no extra. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was against the rules. But I did it anyway. I didn't take no fries home. All I did, when I'm thinking about it, the only rule that I can think of that I broke was making huge ice cream cones. If you came in and I was on duty making ice cream cones and you was a brother or a sister and you said, hook me up, I hooked you up. That's all I did. And of course, the sneezing incident, but I don't have to keep bringing that up. The point is, the lack of oversight and accountability, the protection of the manager from any repercussions for our actions, quickly allowed us to realize we can do almost anything we want to do. And because we were, human, a lot of people did. Now, granted, it's the difference between taking some round burgers home, some bags of fries home, making big ice cream cones, and beating a dude to death. It's a difference. I acknowledge that. There's a difference. But the principle of the thing, of course, is if there's no oversight, if no one is being held accountable when they're doing wrong, if the manager know that you violating the rules, but still protect you, or don't punish you when you caught, people, not everybody, but people will push those boundaries. They will. So while it's not that lady's fault, that they beat that young man to death. I agree. She kind of is partially responsible. If I believe the story that that's kind of what she does, is she creates these elite units. I do air quotes a lot, and I don't like them. I don't know why I do them. You know why I do them? Here's why I do them. Hey, man, you're getting off track. I'll get back on track. Elite units, okay. Here's why I do them. Because I don't want to say she creates these elite units, and then somebody be like, you think those units is elite? What make them better than any other unit? So I have to somehow let y'all know that I'm not saying elite as my judgment on these units or, whatever it is that I'm talking about. I have to let y'all know that's what people call them. And I don't necessarily agree with it. So that's why I do it, even though I hate it. It's much quicker than saying she creates these so-called elite units that are not really elite. They classify them that way. And you know what I'm saying? Getting all into that. So that's why I do that. even though I hate it. Anyway, she creates these so-called elite units. Apparently she's got a history of it. And they get out of hand. She covers for them. And then eventually they do something really bad. So then they have to be disbanded. And apparently they end up being really brutal. And again, this all goes to the idea that she is partially responsible for the culture that allowed something like this to happen. I'm truly, hold on, I got a call coming in. Let me see, make sure everything is set up right. Caller.
Emanuel Livingston.
GC.
Well, that's who it is. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing really good today, actually. I'm having a good day.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm having a good day. But I was listening to part of your conversations. I was trying to get ready and listen at the same time, trying to multitask.
All right.
But it's absolutely a part of her responsibility. It's absolutely whether it's fault. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but at the end of the day, she allowed for culture to exist there, because I was under the impression that this is definitely not the first time, and if it wasn't for those cameras on the pole, we wouldn't probably know about this one. It would have been him was resisting, because they was already setting the narrative. Move your hand, all that stuff that they were telling. They said they issued him 75 commands, of which he was already handcuffed. So they know what they do. They knew what they were doing. They knew what to do, and they knew how to get away with it. And the buck stops. Yeah, she should be held accountable for it. And nobody's thinking about her.
I agree. Now, again, I would say it's totally her responsibility, but yeah, she is partially responsible. GC, I said this, I really believe this. Every law enforcement official and every first responder, the medical personnel, and everybody who showed up and did not render aid to that young man should be fired. Every single one of them. No.
They have been fired.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I heard that they were.
They
I
are.
thought I saw it even on the news.
I saw at least 20-something police officers on scene. Now, I'm not talking about just the ones who beat him. If you showed up and you walking around and there's a dude slumped over on the ground dying, and you didn't do something, you're a law enforcement official, you're a medical person, you should lose your job.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I think they got the ones that were. I don't know. I don't know how they determined who was getting fired, but they did fire that other cop, and they did fire some EMTs, from what I understand.
Yes, they did. They fired a couple EMTs and their supervisor, which also leads me to wonder, okay, if the fire department officials or the EMTs, they got fired and their supervisor got fired.
Come on.
All right, where's these officers' supervisor getting fired?
Come on.
Because if it's good for the EMTs, it should be good for the cops too. And again, I truly believe management sets the tone. And yes, that starts from the top. And she says, well, I told them that we needed more supervisors. Look, we probably needed more supervisors at McDonald's. But just one supervisor there who said, this is the rule, you're going to stick to it. If you don't stick to it, you're going to be out the door, kept everybody in line.
Okay, just one.
Just one.
Yeah. And then the other one came in that didn't hold any structure or hold any accountability. People, including you, was giving away chicken McNuggets and all that foolishness.
I didn't give away chicken McNuggets. I just made large ice cream cones.
Chicken McNuggets.
I made large ice cream cones.
But listen, but yeah, and then if she don't hold any part of the responsibility of what happened that night, then why did she dismantle the Scorpion unit? I mean, why did she do that? Why did she do that?
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I feel like that's stuff like that is a PR move. Like, oh, the Scorpion unit got a bad name now because we beat somebody to death. Well, there's no more Scorpion unit. But when it's die down, it's going to be a new slick name unit that's, their job is to go out into so-called high crime areas and find crime. And I always say this. If I sent 300 police officers into Hyde Park with the sole purpose of looking for crime, you're going to see traffic tickets go up in Hyde Park. That's going to be the worst driving neighborhood in Cincinnati. Why? Because we got 500 police looking for tickets. You're going to have disorderly conduct, because if my unit is assigned to Hyde Park and we getting good duties, we making good money, guess what? We got to justify being here. We going to find some crime.
Or create some.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I don't know that she should be held criminally liable, but yeah, she should be feeling and looking like a fool, because at the end of the day, they say she did some of the same practices down in Atlanta. And so, I agree with you. It starts, the buck stops there, in my opinion. It stops there. And if she couldn't handle it and it was out of control, then she should have sought help. So, I ain't thinking about none of them, her either. That's how I feel about it. I ain't thinking about none of them. For them to still do what they did, and it's just ridiculous. And she needs to be looking in the mirror looking like a fool. That's how I feel about her. I ain't thinking about her.
All right.
That's how I feel about it, Emanuel Livingston.
Well, I appreciate you calling me. What are you getting ready for? You said you were in the process of getting ready. What you getting ready for?
Oh, I'm going down to my niece, my great niece. She's going to be doing her prom night thing. Now, I don't even know what that is, Emanuel, because I never had children. And to be honest, we've only had me and her brother. It's only been several of us that have graduated high school. And so this is a big deal. And so I've never been to these little things, because I never went to the prom night. I never did all that stuff. I graduated from Hughes Night School.
Yeah, but
I was
hold
working
on.
during the day.
But GC, it's February. It ain't prom season, is it?
Well, no, it's just something that they're doing tonight in between a game. And she told me it's called prom night. I got the ticket, and you go down, and in between the game, they're going to announce the people, I think, that are graduating, and you give them balloons or flowers or something. I mean,
so like a senior night or homecoming or something like that?
It might be homecoming. See, that's what I'm telling you. I don't know.
Okay.
She told me the senior night or prom night is some night for them. All I know is I'm going to show my rear end up. I'm going to have some flowers and some balloons, and I'm going to celebrate my great niece for her accomplishment, because it's huge to me.
All right, shout her out. What's her name? It's like 86 people watching.
Her name is Kamari Clark. Kamari.
And where she go to school?
She goes down at the preparatory school downtown. Oh my God, man, you just caught me off guard. What's the name of her little school? People know it. Tell them to say it online. Downtown on Land Street.
All right.
Wait a minute, don't tell me no all right. Look down there and see if anybody's saying it and say it. Don't tell me no all right.
I don't know.
Look down there. Look on the live thing. Somebody's saying it.
Somebody said senior night at CCPA.
Yeah, tell them that's right. That's what it is. There it is. That's it. Tell them thank you. I love them. Now, but tell them to say the school name out loud. Say the whole name out. Don't just say CCPA.
GC said say the whole name.
Whole thing out loud.
Somebody else is saying it's performing arts.
What? No, they created a school of performing arts. She didn't go there.
Okay,
it's on Main Street.
Terry says it is. Hold on, I'm just coming up. A Cincinnati Christian Prep Academy.
I think that's it. No, I'm going to go because I know what it is. Let me go. Can I hold on to that? Because I want to say it. It's don't be, okay, you know where the YMCA is downtown on Lynn Street behind the daggone wig store? Well, it is. God, I'm just so upset with myself and not remembering.
It's all right. It's all right.
I know it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, my goodness.
Hold on. But it is speaker. Now, I'm going to look and see, because you done got me. You shouldn't have never asked a question. You make me sick. Now, hold on. Hold on, Emanuel.
I'm holding. I'm holding.
Don't look like that. But
holding.
you're looking.
I ain't doing nothing. We're just holding. We waiting for it.
Okay, well. I
said I
appreciate it.
Yeah, we waiting. I got time.
Okay, now. Okay. So she's at the Cincinnati. Here it is, all this foolishness here. Cincinnati College Preparatory Academy. Bam!
All right.
Cincinnati College Preparatory Academy. There it is. Bam! Yeah, I don't want. I gotta remember.
See, now I done forgot her name now. Congratulations to little Miss Clark at the Cincinnati College Preparatory Academy.
I love you. I love you, Emanuel Livingston. Her name is Kamari Clark.
Kamari Clark.
Yeah,
congratulations to her.
Huh?
I said congratulations to her and to the family.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you taking the time with me. I appreciate the call and all that other good stuff. I appreciate the callers. Tell them thank you.
They heard you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Emanuel. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's GC. She was going to get that name out, and I wasn't going to stop her. I wasn't going to stop her and let her get the name out. Shout out your people. Shout out your school. Jeannie says, that's exactly what I typed, but it didn't pop up here until she was in the middle of saying it. So that is exactly what you typed. But when I saw it was when she was already saying it. But you did type it in probably before you heard it. So, all right. But yeah, no, and I saw where Angela, I believe it was, Angela said, I want to scroll back and see if I can find it. It's about ethics, not necessarily, oh, what else did you say? I know you said ethics. Bottom line, she said it's about ethics. And I mean, not necessarily dereliction of duty. Okay. I agree. But sometimes those ethics kick in. I remember, was it yesterday, I think, I was talking about the stuff that I would have done. Just because, I didn't do a lot of stuff just because morally, ethically, I didn't think it was right. But when I thought about doing other stuff, when I was like, I'm going to sit my morals and ethics down for a minute, the threat of what my mama would do to me made me remember those ethics and morals. And it wasn't so much the ethics and morals, it was I didn't want to get killed by that little lady. So because of that, it made me stick to those morals and ethics. And I understand what you're saying. At least I believe I understand what you're saying. But it all go together. I'm not even necessarily saying there was like severe dereliction of duty. But they do say she has a history of defending bad officers, which of course is not shocking whatsoever to me, because that's just something that a lot of law enforcement officials do. A lot of them. Again, I'm not going to go as far as to say some people would say all, but a lot of people do that. Hold on. It's an interesting question, Lewis. Was your mother abusive towards you, or did she rule with fear? I guess it all depends on how you look at it. I want to say by today's standard, I think my mom would be considered abusive. By today's standard, my mom would be considered abusive. I got whooped with belts. I got whooped with switches. I got hit in the face once with a wrench. It's a long story. She caught me cussing. She wasn't down with cussing. That's why I don't cuss now. She wasn't down with cussing, and I was being hard-headed. Because when your mama say, hold on, what was that I heard you say today? You're not supposed to say it. You're not supposed to say it. You're supposed to, I don't know. But I'm one of them people, you ask me a question, I'm gonna answer the question. You heard me say bitch? And the look on her face like, he really just said it right in front of me, like flat-footed, standing straight up, and he didn't flinch. He said it right in front of me. And she said, and you know when they say, say it again. You know you're not supposed, that really mean you better not say it again. But I'm a literal guy. And so when she said, say it again, I said, bitch. I wasn't calling her that. I had called somebody else that, and she had heard it. And it was kind of her way of saying, you can't say that stuff. And I think I was just going to get a good talking to. But because I am who I am, and she happened to, I don't know what she was working on, but she happened to have a wrench in her hand. And she, pow, and she hit me in the mouth with it. And I was like, and my lip was bleeding on the inside, but I wouldn't let the blood come outside because I ain't wanted to know that she hurt me. Just because, I don't know, that's who I am. And she said, say it again. Okay, I said, bitch. She hit me again. We went through this probably about 4 times. And then I guess she finally realized, this fool gonna keep saying it. Every time I tell him to say it, he gonna say it. And, I think she felt sorry for me. And then she was like, go up to your room. And I went up to my room. She didn't hit me too hard. Like, what I'm saying? She didn't like, bam, knock me down with it. She just hit me, hard enough for me to feel it. It bust my lip on the inside. I had a gash on the inside. But I was just drinking that blood. I wasn't going to show no weakness. I wasn't going to show her that she won. I wasn't going to, I would have, if she would have said it 100 times, I would have said it 100 times. And she'd have just bashed me 100 times. I'd have took it until I passed out and died from blood loss from the inside. You know what I'm saying? That's just who I was, kind of who I am. So to answer was she abusive towards me? I would say no. I would say, looking back as an adult, I brought that on myself. But in today's society, if I did that to my daughter, or if my daughter did that to that little baby, oh, that's abuse all day. But not really. But yes. You know what I'm saying? So, did she rule with fear? Oh, absolutely. But I think it was helpful. Like I said, and I'm being honest. There were things that I did not do because I was afraid of what she would do in response. So, yeah. Yes. I think yes to modern day standard, yes. But I think in reality, no. Wow, Daryl, this is a long one. I see something long, and I'm like, I don't know that I can read it that long, but let's see. I will never forget when I was about 11 years old, one of my friends had a birthday party who lived in the same building with me. We came out his friend's house, and I yelled, that S was good. And my mom was looking out the kitchen window, who I didn't see. And she So it was long. I got to come off of it so that I can see it. And she hurt me. And that was all she wrote. All I remember is waking up the next morning. I got a whooping that wore my ass out and put me in a good sleep after crying all the tears in my body out. I won't cuss around my mama to this day. So that's what, was it abuse? I brought that on myself. I wasn't even mad at her. I'd be mad at, I was mad at my daddy when he gave me that whooping with that daggone 2x4 and stepped on my head. That's another true story. But I was mad at him because I didn't deserve that whooping. So I was mad at him for that. But I wasn't mad about my mama for the pop in the mouth. Because I brought that on myself. Will says, I done caught hands, combs, shoes, belts, and extension cords, to name a few in my day. Yeah, no, moms, she did. She ruled with fear. Janice says, total abuse. Okay. And again, it all depends on how you look at it. I brought that on myself. John says, we all were abused. I had a piece of lunch meat shoved down my throat out of anger, but I had it coming. To this day, he still don't like pickle loaf. Sometimes you do. You bring stuff on yourself. I understand that. And I don't know. I think initially what happened. I'm trying to think back to the incident. And I think initially what happened when she asked me, what did I say? I was trying to be honest with her. I didn't think of it in terms of, being disrespectful. I thought about it in terms of, she asked a question. I'm not going to lie and pretend like I don't know. Look, if you don't know something, if you don't know this about me. And just about anybody who's being honest, if they know me, like if they've worked with me or dealt with me in any way, shape, or form, if I'm wrong, I had no problem saying I'm wrong. Oh, no, I messed that up. Why didn't so-and-so happen? I forgot. It was 100% on me. I was supposed to do that, and it totally slipped my mind. I'm not one to, I don't know what happened. If I know what happened, if I messed it up, I'ma say I messed it up. That's why sometimes, when I be telling y'all like, ain't no show today because so-and-so happened. And there's always somebody who's like, you ain't got to make no excuses. You ain't got to lie about it. And I be thinking, why would I lie about it? If I don't feel like doing it, I just say, ain't no show today. If I'm running late, I say I'm running late. Or if something happened, I say something happened. That's just who I am. So from my perspective, Mama was asking me a question. I wasn't going to lie. What did you say? Nothing. To me, that would have been a lie. I don't be lying. So the first one, I was telling her the answer to the question. Then when she said, say it again. Look, I had an idea of what she was saying. But at the same time, you don't tell me to say something. I'm going to say that shit. You know what I'm saying? What? So, hold on. I got a call coming in. Brent.
Hey, what's going on, E-Man?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, man, you done brought up some childhood trauma. I think I need to call Dr. Chantel Thomas. Get a couple sessions in. But yeah, you definitely deserved them whoopings when your mama kept on popping you. You deserved every single one of them.
I brought it on myself.
Oh, my goodness.
I did.
Yes.
And I wasn't
But
gonna
yeah, but
stop. I'm
growing
telling
up-
you, I wasn't gonna stop. If she just said it
Oh, my
100 times, 100 times and I made sure to look her directly in her eyes when I said it, because I wanted to make sure she understood. You asked for this, so when she said, "Say it again," I said, "Bitch."
All right, Coochie Kinte. That way so true. But man, but just growing up, you know, with the family, the worst whippings we got was when we started fighting each other. You know, we're fighting other folks, that wasn't no big deal, you know, what happened and everything, but those were some good times and some bad times, especially with the Hot Wheels racing track. You know, you're playing 1 minute with your friends, and the next minute it's coming apart, and you getting whooped with. It's like, what in the world? So when I was at the Dollar Tree a couple of months ago, and I saw them tracks, it just triggered me, and I wanted to buy all of them just to burn them, so that no child, these millennials, would never have to go through that. But I just wanted to share with you the worst whooping that I deserved, but I didn't get. And I got two cousins that are right around my age. We'd always be back and forth at each other's house. And down in their basement, they had carpets, but it was just carpets that were put down. You know, I guess their dad didn't have the money to pay for all the tacking and padding and all that.
Okay.
But we got down there, and we slid those carpets all throughout the basement up into one pile in the middle of the floor. It's probably about 4 foot tall. And we're probably around 9, 10. Well, Big Cecil comes downstairs, and Big Cecil is big. You know, he's like 6'4", 250. And he's like, "What are y'all doing? Y'all get upstairs now." And, you know, back then, if I went over a family member's house, they had all rights and privileges that my mama had and my dad had of whooping me.
Okay.
And the first one was my cousin Cecil. He's real. I was skinny, but he was skinnier than me. Big Cecil had him up by one hand and had his thick belt whooping the crap out of him. And I'm third in line. I'm sweating. Then next was my cousin Rodney, and he had Rodney by the hand, but Rodney kept moving, and he beat him into a closet. And I'm like, okay, you know, getting everything together. You know how you would tense up your body so you could try to, you know, mute the blow and everything. And I go ahead and step up because, hey, I'm next. And he was like, "Hey, get in the room with your cousins." I could have passed out just,
Okay, hold on.
just from not getting whooped.
Brent, help me understand. What was the whooping for? Playing?
Well, messing up all them carpets. We had carpets. It was probably downstairs, probably about 2,000 square foot of carpets that was all throughout the basement, now all piled up in the middle of the floor. And it wasn't just one piece. So it was cut to fit in certain areas. So he had to go down there and figure out which areas he had and to put it all back into place. So, yeah, Big Cecil didn't play. And to this day, I look at him, I'm like, man, I thank you for not whooping me. You had every right to, but, hey, it made us best. Now I sound like Lincoln, talking about the good old days.
So now, I had to ask the question because somebody asked me, and I was going to ask this question anyway. So I have to ask the question. Number one, was it abuse? When you looking back at it today, do you think you were abused?
By today's standards?
No, not by today's standards, just in general, in terms of the raising of a child and disciplining of a child, were you abused?
No. Now, I knew some folks that was abused.
Yeah.
You know, extension cords, whole 9 yards, you stay outside, don't come in. No, there was abuse. And I'm talking about punches and the whole 9 yards. But, no, how we grew up, no, that wasn't abuse. You know, you needed to have a healthy fear of your parents. Because just like, you know, you only did them, you know, foot-tall ice cream sandwiches, you know, there are certain things that my cousins and other folks would go out and do. I was thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, I could get in trouble, and somebody might call my mama. I'm like, no, you call the cops. Don't call mama, because it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
So that kept me on the straight and narrow because I knew what this little 5'4" woman was capable of. And even to this day, I look at her now, I'm like, man, I think I can try you, but I'm like, nah, I got more sense than that. Because what she, lacks in height, she makes up in a strong trigger finger. So, no.
All right, Brent.
So,
All right.
but hey, just wanted to share that with you guys.
Hey, I appreciate the call.
All right, take it easy.
All right, that's Brent. Cam wants to know. Well, hold on. Before I get to Cam, and I'm way behind on the comments. Anthony wanted to know. But when you received the consequences, when you was asked the first time, why didn't you learn from your mistake? I know what it says. I'm interpreting. Why didn't you learn from your mistake? I didn't view it as a mistake. I viewed it as, I'll be honest, you're not going to tell me what I can't say and dare me to say it. I have some autonomy. Of course, I wasn't thinking words like autonomy, but I get to say what I want to say. And I understand there's going to be consequences, and I'm going to just stand here and deal with the consequences. In my little mind, I was sending a message. The message was kind of, I'm the boss of me. You're not the boss of me. I'm the boss of me. And while you can push me around and you can whoop me, you can't control me. So, I don't know if I would say I didn't learn from my mistake. I didn't view it as a mistake. And I was prepared to deal with the consequences. Yeah. But abused? I don't know. Let me see. Do you regret being beat by your parents, or do you think it made you a better man? Now, I'll be honest. I got like maybe 2 or 3, if you want to call them horror stories. I can really only think of 2. The wrench and the 2x4. I did get a few other whoopings growing up. But if I was trying to count them, I could remember throughout my entire childhood, maybe 5. Maybe. And I feel like I might be pushing it on the 5. So it ain't like every day I was getting beat. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to do something to get beat. But when you got a whooping from mama, you knew you had got a whooping, and you didn't ever want to get another whooping. Most of the whoopings, other than the wrench thing, I never got from my mama anything but a belt. And the way moms would do it, at least with me, the way moms would do it, even if mama caught me in the middle of something, she would make me stop, and she would make me go find a belt, which of course was the worst part of the whole thing. But I had to stop. I had to go find a belt. Then I had to, and don't take too long, because that didn't do nothing but make her mad. And I had to bring the belt to her. Now, I think she used that time to kind of calm down from whatever it was that she caught me doing. And then I had to bring the belt to her. And sometimes she would take the belt and tell me, go to your room. I don't know if mama would pray. I don't know what she would do. But then a few minutes later, she would call me down to the room. And that was when I knew I was about to get my whooping. She would say, lay over that bed. She would have a conversation. I'm in the whooping position, laid over the bed, in the whooping position. And she would have a conversation with me about whatever it was that I just did. And it would be, like a heartfelt conversation. Like, what I'm saying? Basically, what you did was wrong. You did what you did. That's unacceptable. But you did it anyway. And so now you have to suffer from these consequences. It's not like I sit around wanting to give you whoopings. We've had conversations, you know what I'm saying? The whole speech. Never this is going to hurt me more than it hurt you. My mama never actually said that to me. I think my daddy said that once. And I looked at him like, stop it. And if I recall correctly, and this might just be in my mind, he realized that what he said was some BS. And he was like, not physically. He had to clarify because he knew I was thinking, that's some bullshit. You know this ain't gonna hurt you, you know. But then she would have a conversation. And the whole time, I'll be honest, I was like 1/4 of the way paying attention through this talk because I knew the whooping was coming. So I was just trying to get ready for when it came. And I don't know why I was trying to get, like, it ain't like she ever just was in the middle of talking and just, you know what I'm saying? That never happened. It was never a shock. There was always, I would be trying to prepare my body to receive this whooping. So, and I might have, like I said, I might have gotten 5 in my whole life. Maybe 5 in my whole life. But I was young enough when they happened for it to, like Brent said, develop a healthy fear. And I carried that through my life up until that woman was no longer here. So, and that did, a lot of things that I would have done, I didn't do initially because of fear as a child. I didn't want, you know, I didn't want that. And then partially out of respect. Because, you know, once you get to a certain point, you know what I'm saying? I remember being, and y'all, I'm 5'5". Now, as a grown man, I'm 5'5". I remember at about, I want to say 14, standing next to my mama and looking down at her. She was a little bitty lady. I remember standing next to her, looking down at her, thinking, I think I could take her. I remember that thought. I think I could take her. And then immediately something rose up in me like, don't be no fool and try it. And I wasn't getting in trouble or none of that kind of stuff. It just, I stood next to her and I remember looking down on her. And I'm thinking, I think I can take her. If I needed to, if things, you know, worst came to worst, I think I can take her. Don't even entertain that thought. You know that woman will kill you. So, I don't know. I think it did make me a better person than I would have been had I not had that initial fear and then eventual respect for her and her rules and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. That was a long way to go to answer that question. Let me see. I'm so far behind on the comments. R-Dub says, stop making it seem like you got beat every day because that's what you're doing. How? When I clearly said I maybe remember 5 of them throughout my whole childhood. You just a hater. Call in. Let me see. I couldn't stand when my parents would say, this is gonna hurt me more than it will you. Yeah, like I said, I only remember my daddy saying that once. My daddy said that once. Like I said, I looked at him like, and then I'm telling you, I remember him saying, not physically, but I don't want to be having to whoop on you, son. So yeah, he had to clear that up. Tanika says, I got the beating with an extension cord of my whole entire life when I was 14. By 14, I was finished. I was out the whooping stage. Like I said, I was bigger than she was. You know, I don't know. My cousin and I stayed out in the neighborhood until 1 a.m. They searched high and low for us. My mama beat me like I stole something. What was you and your cousin doing? And where was y'all? Where were y'all? Yeah, you were young and smelling yourself. Think because you was taller than her. It lasted for that long. And when the thought entered into my head that I could take her, that other thought entered into my head and said, no, don't. It wouldn't even be worth trying. Wouldn't even be worth trying. David said he would be afraid of a wrench. Man, you got 5 good ones. Look, I don't know about nobody else, but my mama, I think she went to school to learn how to whoop. And she had a master's degree in whoopology. Cause, she knew what she was doing. And, it was bad. And then it wasn't just the whooping. It was after the whooping. That once the physical part was over, there was other stuff that came with it. So, Edward said, you stop counting at 5. No, for real. When I really think back, and I'm sitting here now trying to think back, and y'all trust me, I have like vivid memories of things. Like, I remember the pattern on the bed, on the blanket on the bed. I can remember the sun coming through the window, or the light that was there. Like, I remember all of this stuff. I could almost, if I really, probably remember the belt that was used for each of the whoopings. So I'm saying 5. I only really remember very vividly from my mama 3, even though I think it was a 4th, but I'm giving it 5 just because, that's a decent number. Now, I know I didn't get more than 5, or at least not that I can recall. When she beat me unconscious and I blocked it out. I'm sure that didn't happen. Let's see. Black Lion say, you only got 5. I can't even count all the ass whoopings I got. I'm telling you, for real, I was a good kid. Most of it was just out of my morality and my, all of that kind of stuff. But like I said, when I thought about doing other stuff, that would enter my mind. Let's see. Lady K says, ever been punched by your mom in the body while she was shifting a stick shift? No. My mom's never hit me with a body shot. That is not funny. It's funny for me because it never happened, and trying to picture my mama doing it, I don't know why it tickles me. But no, that never happened. Oh. Man, Terrence says, the one whooping I got from my father, I didn't deserve it. Ever since then, I said I will never be blamed for shit I didn't do ever. I got one from my daddy, I didn't deserve it. I know I've told this story. Before. I'll give you the brief version. Somebody left the refrigerator open like all morning. I don't know if stuff was spoiled inside or not, but Pops was not happy about it. It had been happening, and he had been having conversations about it, and I guess that was it. So somebody was getting it. It was 6 of us in the house. So he couldn't figure out who did it. Everybody was going to get a whooping. Everybody was going to get a whooping. But then my cousin Ella, she was his cousin. So, she's a grown woman. But apparently she had taken the girls somewhere. So they couldn't have did it because they was with me. I'm like, that's not true. They could have did it before they left. That could be why it was open and nobody knew, because one of them damn girls could have did it. But she vouched for them, so they was off the hook. And then it was the 3 boys left. And he was like, one of y'all did it. And you know the rule, when you got a lot of kids, if somebody don't admit it, everybody get it. If somebody don't admit it, everybody get it. I just knew I didn't do it. I don't remember which one he whooped first. He whooped one of my brothers first. Then he whooped the other brother. And it was a simple whooping. I don't remember what he was working on. He was working on something. He was always working on something. So he had this 2x4. And he had him lay on the floor. And he might have hit him 2 times. Maybe 3. And they did their little cry thing and got up. They did the second one, maybe hit him 2-3 times, did they little cry thing, got up. And when he told me to lay on the ground, I wasn't laying on no ground. I didn't leave the refrigerator. I didn't even eat no cereal that morning. I remember this vividly too. I didn't even eat no cereal that morning. So when he say lay on the ground, I'm like, nah, Dad, hold on, let me explain. You know what I'm saying? It was a simple, and if he would have just listened to the reason and logic, if he would have listened to my reason and my logic, he would have understood. But he wasn't trying to hear me. Here's my logic. Okay, if the girls didn't do it, that's fine. Then that means one of the boys did it. If one of the boys did it, cool. I know it wasn't me. You already whooped the other 2, so you done got the culprit. Ain't no sense in carrying on this travesty of justice. No sense in carrying it on. None. You done got the culprit. Justice has been served. Let's everybody just call it a day. That was my logic. He wasn't trying to hear me, and I kept trying to explain it to him. But he just wanted me to lay on the ground and take my little licks. I didn't want to take no licks. I didn't do nothing. I don't like injustice, especially when it's going to be perpetrated against me. So I'm like, no. And again, he gave me that look like, did you say no? And I'm like, I didn't do it. You already got them. And he wouldn't listen. He never let me get the argument out. He never let me get the full argument out. And then he grabbed me and I went to pull away. And you ain't supposed to be pulling away. And I pulled away. And then I think that kind of challenged him. So he grabbed me and he threw me on the floor. And then I wouldn't lay there. I'm gonna just lay there. I didn't do nothing. So I roll out the way. You know what I'm saying? We took some karate when I was little. I know how to roll. I know how to roll. I know how to fall. I know how to roll. And I know how to get up. So I used the skills that I possessed at the time. So he did it again. I rolled. Then he threw me back down. And, Pops always wore those hard bottom dress shoes. He always wore hard bottom dress shoes. I don't ever recall, as a young person, I don't ever recall seeing my daddy in gym shoes. Now, when he got a little older, I saw him in gym shoes once or twice. But as a young person, I never saw my daddy in gym shoes. So when he threw me down that last time, he was anticipating the roll, and he took that shoe and he put it on my head. So I couldn't roll. And then I don't even know how many licks he gave. It was more than he gave anybody else. And I was the one who didn't do it. But I got more than anybody else. Then he let me up. And I don't know what I was supposed to do with that. but I had a chip on my shoulder for years about that. And I remember I was a young man. I don't know if I was 18. I might have been a little older than 18, maybe just a little younger than 18. I don't remember. But I remember having the conversation with him. And I remember telling him, you was wrong for that. You was wrong for that. And he listened to me. He heard me out. And he said, he don't know. It made me madder and it hurt me more than anything else. He was like, I don't think I ever whooped you with no 2x4. I don't remember that happening. Oh my goodness. Oh, I was so mad and so hurt because it was such a traumatizing thing for me. Not necessarily the hitting with the 2x4. That wasn't that big of a deal. More than anything, it was the shoe on the head. But the fact that I got a whooping and I didn't do anything wrong. And then you don't even remember? That should be seared in your brain, the injustice. It should burn your heart. I don't think that ever happened, son. I don't remember ever doing that. I wouldn't whip you with no 2x4. I would never hit a kid with a board. I'm like, what? Who is this person? Who is this person? Y'all don't know how mad I was. Y'all don't know how mad I carried that. If I had to put an age on about how old I was when that happened, I might have been 8. So I done carried that for a decade or so. And then I finally get the opportunity to tell you what you did, how you wronged me. It was like a victim impact statement at sentencing or something. I put it all out there. And for him to be like, I don't think that ever happened. I'm like, what? You really think I'm just making this up? Oh my goodness. I would not make that up. Both my parents have passed away now. They're both passed away. But yeah, now I remember being so upset. And again, for real, the whooping itself, that's why I don't remember how many licks I actually got. I remember it was more than 2. Because I counted the ones when he gave them the other ones. And it was more than that for me. But I also remember he put some weight on my head. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to make sure I didn't move. So he put some weight on my head with them hard bottom kicks on. That might be why I don't like dress shoes to this day. Oh, but I was mad at him for that. That's the only whooping. That's the only one I can think of that I ever got that I didn't deserve. Only one I can think of that I got at this moment that I can think of that I got that I didn't deserve. So yeah. But I must admit, I was nowhere near as afraid of Dad as I was of my mom. I was much more afraid of Mom than Dad. I would took a whooping from Daddy, and if they was there, and this never happened, but if they were there and had they given me the option, because it's 2023, grammar don't matter. So if they was there and had been giving me the option, do you want a whooping from your mama or do you want a whooping from your daddy? I would have chose Daddy every day of the week. I was nowhere near afraid of him. Nowhere near. Oh, Angela, you got shots too? Really? You got shots too? Oh, that's just so bad. That's just so bad. I remember all the shots. Just know that. I remember this stuff. It's going to come back one day. And then people going to be like, oh, you were so harsh about that with her. And I'll be like, okay, yeah. And I'm going to be thinking back, oh, remember? And remember the hairline joke? So just know that. Just know that. Kelly says she was not taking whoopings laying down from anyone. No way. Well, yeah. Sheesh. Now I'm depressed. Well, I'm an adult now. It's all right. You know, I outgrew it, but I was mad as hell. Let me see. I told you I didn't really have much to talk about today. State of the Union. What are you looking? Are you gonna watch the State of the Union? Are you gonna watch it? Again, I'm thinking about going live and watching it live. I'm thinking about it, so I'm not promising it. But do you plan on watching it? And if so, any particular thing you looking for? Now, I'll answer the question for me. I definitely plan on watching it. There's no thing in particular that I'm looking for. I'm just listening. To me, some of this stuff is, it's politics. So it's theater. When you really think about it, you know what I'm saying? You at the joint session and the flag behind you and all of the pomp and circumstance. It is literally just theater. It's a show for them and then for us to watch with them. That's it. So, am I looking for anything? No, I'll be interested. I think you could probably go online right now and get an advanced copy of the speech. A lot of times they have them, you can find them online before the speech happens. But it'll just be interesting to watch. I watch all kind of stuff. I pay attention to the things that the people behind them do. I pay attention, they standing up, they ain't standing up. Sometimes it's like a wrestling match, like they'll start chanting and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's the good guy. Oh, no, he's the bad guy. So, I'll be watching it though, like what's going to happen interesting in the show. Because of course, the meat of the speech is basically I'm Joe Biden. I want to tell everybody that I've done a great job and that I want to do a great job. I want to set it up either for in 2 years, my run for election, or set it up for whoever's gonna run, set it up for in 2 years, these new round of elections that are gonna come up. Like it's all political theater. But it's interesting to watch it play out. Because it has some actual stakes. Speech itself, well, every once in a while, it does as well. He's gonna lay out his plan for this and for that. And he gonna say some stuff. Some of it he might do. Some of it he won't do. Some of it he won't even try. Some of it he'll try and he'll fail. You know what I'm saying? It's just a speech. But I'll be watching it. Hold on. I think Cam and somebody else has brought this up a couple times. So I'll put it up on the screen. Bro, are you pretending you still at the buzz with that shirt on? Really? You ever wore a shirt with a logo on it? See, I hate that to do it, but you have to put stuff and just show the ridiculousness of a thing. So were you pretending to work for Nike? Or were you pretending to work for Polo? Or were you pretending to work for Bob Marley? Were you pretending to work? Like, that's just stupid. Like, I mean, it's not even, it's legit stupid. It's like legit stupid. So, I made these shirts a while ago, Discharge Ink. There's no hand to it whatsoever. Like, you can't feel any ink deposit. So I made these shirts some years ago. So because I don't work for the radio station, I'm just supposed to throw them away and never wear them. That's some nice shirts. I did a good job. And I do still listen to and support the radio station. I'm not allowed to listen to and support the radio station and wear the shirt that I made. Come on. That's just stupid. That's just stupid. Hold on, let me go to the phone. CK. CK? Oh, hold on. Something happened to the settings. I didn't change the settings. CK.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Praise God. Oh, my God. Man, my condolences, man. That was devastating to hear.
Maybe it wasn't as bad as it sounds.
It is. That's terrible. You said you lost both parents?
Oh, you mean that they're both gone? Well, they've been
Oh,
gone
my
for years.
God.
It's okay. People die.
Man, I'm scared of losing one, let alone both. Oh, my God. Mama and Daddy?
There's a good chance that it's going to happen one of these days.
And that's the scary part. And you know you ain't fully grown till they both gone. Well, one of them gone, especially Mama. Jesus. I'm luckily just to be blessed with both of them, but, you know, the fear is there. Because, like you said, it's a good chance.
All right.
I mean, how is you coping? How is you dealing with stuff like that?
Well, again, it's been a number of years. I mean, I'm not like happy about it, but I mean, you realize life, that's the circle of life. People are born and people die, and one day we'll all die. I miss them, but ain't nothing I can do about it. So life must go on.
They must have passed young. They was young then. Cause you young.
No, Mom's was kind of young, breast cancer. Pops was, I think Dad was like 85 or something like that, which, you know, or 80s. He was in his 80s. I don't remember the exact age. But yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it was, you know, when it happened, of course, you know, shock. One of them was a shock. One of them was, I don't want to say it was a relief because, you know, she had gone through a lot, but you know, when she passed away, you have an opportunity to be prepared. Not that it's still not shocking and sad, but like I said, you know, like you mourn, and you know, hopefully you deal with it. If not, get some counseling, because that can be helpful, and you know, but you must go on. So you go on, and then as time goes by, the pain, you know, that intense feeling of loss and longing for them and missing them and all that kind of stuff, it gets a little less. Like you never, not like, of course, not a day goes by I don't think about my mom, I don't think about my dad. Not a day goes by when I don't. But I don't, you know, I don't like break down in tears or nothing, you know, 10 years later, almost 20 years later for my mom. So, you know, it happens, but yeah, life must go on.
Yeah, because my parents are more, like, they smarter than me. They, like, intellectual, you know, both college graduates. I could even into college, you hear me? And then, like, more successful. Like, how would you gauge, was your parents, like, more successful than you? Like, at this age, would you say your father had accomplished more
well,
than you have accomplished?
I guess I don't look at it that way. I don't look at it that way. Like, He was who he was, and I am who I am. Like we move in different realms and we do different things. I guess I don't look at people in terms of he's successful and he's not quite as successful or whatever. To me, my dad was a good man. My mom was a good woman. I try to be a good man myself. Tried to raise my daughter to be a good woman, and working on that little baby being a good woman when she grow up. And everything else, from my perspective, everything else is just stuff.
Yeah, because it's hard to, like you said, I still got them, but I fear from when I don't, you know what I mean? Because them being so successful, I'm leaning on them. So when I ain't got them no more, then what I'm going to do? Then the real me going to have to step up. Ain't no more your parents bailing you out of situation. You know what I mean? You can't lean on them. Now it's all on you, Jack. That's the fear.
Well,
you know what I mean?
May I offer just my thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts on that would be, so starting right now, stop relying on your parents for stuff, and you step up and you do whatever it is and handle whatever it is and all that kind of stuff, and just be glad that they're there. So that be the man now. It ain't like, oh, well, once my parents is gone, now I'm the man. No, you be the man now. And then once they're gone, you don't have to deal with the transition of becoming the man. You can just deal with the loss of those people and continue on that same path.
Right. It's just like, I don't rely on them, but it's just like, if I get myself in a jam or something, it's good to talk to them, you know, for advice and stuff like that. It's just like, when they gone, then who do you go to? It's like, you know how you might have like conversating with your parents and stuff, and they give you advice.
Oh, you'll definitely miss that, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and the only thing I was telling you about the abuse, I think we just call it abuse because we can't do to our children what they did to us. See what I mean? Because like when you see weps and stuff, you like, I ain't about to put no wep on no little kid. You know what I mean? But you look at you remember, like, my mom put weps on me. You know what I mean? That's why we look at it as abuse. It really wasn't abuse. They just try to make things seem like it was abuse back then, but it really wasn't. You know what I mean? Unless you're getting punched, like with the jury, getting punched, you know, punched in the mouth with jury, you know, with the rings.
Huh?
Like you know, my mama hit me in the mouth with the diamond rings before.
Oh.
So that, I mean, that's a little excessive, but that's impulsive. It ain't, you know, it wasn't nothing like I'm gonna punch you in the, you know, it just bye, you know. But I just think that we just became soft as a nation, but the discipline was there. But now with all this internet garbage, you got people looking back saying it was abuse, but it really wasn't abuse. It was discipline. It just now is considered abuse because it's the future.
Okay.
What you think?
I think I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying I kind of agree with it. At the same time, look, I understand for some people, you do what you know to do and what you've been taught to do. But then, you know, we talk and we listen, we go back to our experiences and we pay attention to everything going on around us. And, you know, maybe we realize there's a different way to do this. I don't necessarily have to do it that, although that was effective for me at that time, I can still do this a different way. So
yeah, because like you say, after 5 or 6, I ain't touching no kids because, like you said, it now I can get through you mentally. I could give you the look, or I could, you know, spank it. I'm not trying to abuse, because now I look at, if I hit a child now and leave a wound, I think that is abuse. That's how I look at it. But that's what I think now. But as a kid, I didn't think I thought abuse was abuse. Like if you enjoy beating your kids, I think that's abuse. But with your daddy, when your daddy whooped you for the refrigerator, that's what I wanted to tell you. That's what I called for. That was what you call a group ass whooping. That what he was trying to do was he was trying to get the other ones. Like I've been through that before when I was in Lincoln Courts. that when you were supposed to get the whooping, that's when the other sibling was supposed to, no, I'm the pappy. That was supposed to happen. One of like, I did it, Daddy. I'm the one left the refrigerator open. That's what he was trying to get. But when you took it to another level where you start resisting the rest. You know, that's what happened. He was trying to get one of your siblings to come on now. Cause see, if they had any love for you at the time, they would have been like, all right, Daddy, don't whoop Emanuel. He ain't do it. That's what that was. He was trying to get a confession out the other one. Yeah, did you ever look at it like that?
Well, that would have been terrible for whoever stepped up and said it was them, because then they would have got it again. Because by that time, 2 people had got a whooping. So if it was the first person who had got the whooping and you sat and watched your second brother get a whooping, so now you're going to get another whooping. And if it was the second person who got the whooping and you sat and watched your first brother get a whooping and didn't say nothing. So, yeah. I still think it was one of them girls.
But they spared the rod on me because, see, I was a guest. I was just spending the night. So everybody was getting their ass whooping. But when it was my turn, when my cousin stepped up, nah, he ain't do it. He ain't do it, boy. And you know, it's going to be one of them Lincoln Court ass whooping, so it was going to be an ass whooping I never took before. You know, I'm coming from the suburbs coming to get a Lincoln Court ass whooping.
I didn't know there was a difference.
Change of life.
I didn't know it was a difference. I didn't know it was a difference.
Hell yeah. You getting in the whole new, and then you used to getting whooping by your parents. When you getting whooping by other people, that's a whole different ball game.
I would have never took a whooping from nobody else. I'd have never, ever. I would not have never, ever taken a whooping from somebody other than my parents. Ever.
Oh, so you didn't get the paddling at school?
Well, that's different. That was just abuse. And, you know, that was what it was. But I'm saying,
right.
I couldn't run at school because, you know, I was at school. They would have caught me, and I had to go back the next day anyway. So, but in terms
of... as an adult, you took that on, too? You would never whoop nobody else, kid?
No, I whooped somebody, kid.
Damn. That's powerful. Yeah, man. I just had to, I had to holler at you about that parent situation, man, because, you know, I'm going through it, and, you know, I'm scared and stuff, but my condolences, man. Much love. And you're right. You always talk about how beautiful and wonderful your parents was. You know what I mean? That's a good thing, but, you know, hey, we feel your pain out here. You know what I mean?
All right.
They still loved. Yep.
CK, I appreciate your call. All right. That CK just brought something up for me. I guess I can't say that no more. I would have never took it from somebody else. I got swats every day. In the 7th grade. I got swats every day. It's like technically I did. Kim says she got swats all the time at Schwab. That's where I was at. That damn Mr. Mitchell. Daggone Mr. Mitchell. Fran, one of y'all, it's my sister, one of y'all left that refrigerator open. I know I didn't leave it open. I think it was one of y'all and Cousin Ella bailed y'all out. That's what I think it was. Oh, hold on, I got a call coming in. Caller.
Hi, Emanuel Livingston. This is Kelly Prather. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored. Hey, Emanuel, you know, I know what I heard you say is that you did not have a topic for today, but I think that your topics are really, really good. I got a huge kick out of your whooping story, and I was serious. You know, it's confirmed that I have Indian in me because of the way that I approach whoopings. For one, I mean, like I said, my dad never whooped me, and my mom, whenever she tried to whoop me, take off running. I would take off running. I would have never taken a whooping laying down. And then, you know, as far as discipline in school and getting swats, I remember I went to Coaldale Elementary, and our gym teacher, Mr. S, I'll just say Mr. S, he gave me a swat, and, you know, I looked at him, and, I mean, when I stood up, I looked at him, and I couldn't help it. My reaction was, I think I either slapped him or punched him because he was holding his face like, oh, my God. And so, you know, when you said that you would never take a whooping from anyone else or whatever, I can relate to that completely. And I perceive that as a whooping. So, you know, I just think that swats were cruel and unusual punishment. And so I wanted to share that about the SWAT. But then also what CK did is, as far as, you know, he talked about losing your parents. And, you know, like you, we have lost both of our parents. And the one thing I can say about that is for years, Emanuel, my dad would always say, well, y'all know I may not be here next year. I may not be here next year. And I think that when he said it enough and he was at a point where he was ready to go, I think that it would have been selfish of us to say, oh, Daddy, you know, because for years we say, oh, Daddy, you ain't going nowhere, you ain't going nowhere. But it would have been selfish for us to say that anymore when we saw him in, you know, in the frail condition that he was, because he was ready to go. And so I think that the message in that is to people who still have their parents, love and cherish them now while they're here. Because, you know, like you said, I mean, there's a high probability that all of us will go. And I think that the beauty in losing your parents, rather than your parents losing you, is that is the natural, that is how life is supposed to go. That's the natural course of life. So, and then as far as my mom, or as far as both of our parents, Emmanuel, I think that, you know, our parents put everything in us that was supposed to be us, or help us to grow into who we were supposed to be prior to them transitioning. You know, your mom is your greatest source of love. You're the greatest source of unconditional love that you will ever have. And people don't realize that until you lose your mother. And then your dad is, you know, there to love and protect you. And so I will say it was very, very difficult for me when my dad left, because I felt like that was my Superman, and that nobody would ever do anything to me or say anything to me. And if they did, I would go get my daddy. So it's difficult, but, you know, I think that, you know, like I said, you said you didn't have a topic, but the fact that, you know, the topic led to preparing yourself for the transitioning of your parents. I think that that's a good topic that needs to be held, especially, you know, for people who are overly dependent on their parents and who expect a lot from their parents, because it's really unfair to want them here for us. And I guess, you know, as an occupational therapist, and having worked in assisted living facilities and nursing homes, I know that there are a lot of frail elderly people who are hanging on for the sake of their children, because they're worried about their children. And, you know, the thing is, they've raised us. They've put everything in us that needs to be in us. And so we need to know when it's safe to let go, and just trust and believe that they put everything in you, and you're prepared to live your life. But yeah, so thank you so much. I'm happy I chimed in. I'm happy I shared this podcast, because it's fun.
I got a couple questions for you, Kelly, before you go.
Okay.
You said you're part Indian?
Yeah.
Now, when you say that, you mean Native American, or you mean
Native American?
The continent.
I mean, okay. Native American.
Okay.
Yes, I was I'm part Native American, and you know, I did the genealogy search, and on neither side of our family, neither my paternal or maternal side, we've never been slaves. We have never been slaves. And I think, you know, the whooping thing, I think that to me, because I'm Native American and we were here first, it's like I'm not supposed to partake in any whoopings, any slave control activity. So yes, I am part Native American.
All right. Secondly, now is your case actually going on, or is it on hold?
Oh, it's going on. It is going on. I'm really not at liberty to talk a lot about it.
Right.
But, you know, I will say this, and I shared this with my attorney, and I shared this with Lincoln. This is political. It's some political BS. You know, I'm the political outsider. I've spoken out against the corruption and collusion in the system. I talked about these developers and how, you know, there's a lot of pay to play, and they don't like me. And it is what it is. Emanuel, I don't have a problem with that. Everybody's not going to like you, but at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, if it's directly impacting people who should benefit from resources, and right is right and wrong is wrong. God don't pushed me to say things that, you know, I refuse to say. So anything that's come to me that's that extreme, about, again, referring to the corruption and collusion, I just feel like if it came to my spirit and it was that strong, I had to say it. And so for that reason, I really made myself a political target. I will say this about my case. I did reach out to my attorney, Erica Underwood, who was absolutely amazing. And I told her, I said that at this point, this case has been going on for nearly 3 years. I said, I feel like, honestly, it's a violation of my civil liberties and my right to a fair and speedy trial. But technically, we're starting over. With this case, we are starting over. I did have a trial that was scheduled for yesterday, and that trial was vacated. So we got to start all over, which is crazy. Oh. It is crazy. So, again, I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's still going on. But like I said, on LinkedIn, I'll say this to you too, Emanuel. I have been through hell and high water. I'm a survivor of gun violence. I'm a survivor of cancer. I have survived, I've endured injuries and other traumatic experiences, life experiences that most people would have lost their mind if they had to go through. And I just feel like if God will bring me to something, he's going to bring me through it. So, for people who have been praying for me, I thank you. I appreciate your prayers. And I'm moving forward to a trial. I'm not accepting a plea. I will say that. I'm not accepting a plea because if you accept a plea, you give up your right to an appeal. And so I want to be able to appeal the case regardless. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm going to win because this is an unjust political attack. It's just stupid. It is really, really stupid. And for me, Emanuel, let me just say this. My family, this is not just about me, this is about my family. They have slandered my daddy's name. They slandered my daddy's name. When you say Kelly, if you say Kelly by herself, that's one thing. But when you say Kelly Prather, you're talking about an entire family. And my family is traumatized by all of this. And so the fight, like if I accepted a plea deal, to me, that would be giving up. And I will be giving up a fight that's not, again, not about me. It's about my family. It's about my family. And, I'm going to win. I'm going to win this, and I'm going to continue to fight because, my dad didn't raise me to just back away from anything. And that may be part of the Native American in me, too. I don't know. But regardless, I'm going to fight the injustice. This is an injustice based on the fact that I've spoken out about how Black-owned businesses have been treated, how Fifth Third abused resources or misappropriated funds that were supposed to go to the Black community for mortgage lending, community development, economic development, and it's so much going on. And the way that they are really approaching this, it's almost like I'm public enemy number one. They've made me public enemy number one. And it's just, honestly, in my opinion, when you look at it, it's not even worth it. But this is bigger than just about me and, what they're accusing me of. So I gave you much, much more than I gave Lincoln, but
Well, that's because I'm nicer and better. No, Kelly.
You know what? You have been very. You know what? I will. Let me just say this, Emanuel.
No, hold on. I'm just kidding because somebody gonna be telling he was better than you, Lincoln. I'm just teasing. I don't believe that.
Lincoln. I'm sorry, Emanuel. Let me say this. Let me just say this. You have been fairer as far as asking the questions, and you've treated me better than Lincoln has treated me. I'll just go on record and say that so somebody can run and tell that. You've treated me better. You've been more, you've been impartial, and I appreciate that. You show, and I've said, you show integrity in journalism, and you don't go on the attack. You've never me. At different points, we've had to agree to disagree and keep it moving, but overall, you have been nicer to me than our beloved Lincoln Ware, who has been in the industry for 50 years. So I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have a problem with us having this conversation. And if I call it, the next time I call in, I'm pretty sure I'm going to hear it, but it is what it is. So,
Kelly, I appreciate your call.
Yes, I'll keep you posted on what's going on, okay?
All right.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, that's Kelly Prather. Look, I'm not going to ask her any details of the case, why the case is going on. Of course, there's a part of me that want to say, okay, did you do this? But of course, she can't talk about that. Of course, she can't talk about that. So, when the time comes and everything is said and done, if she's been convicted or exonerated, hopefully she'll come on. And I'll ask, I won't say tough questions, but just common sense questions. But as it stands right now, I know if I was on trial for something, even if I did that shit, I'm not telling y'all I did it. Emanuel, did you leave the refrigerator open? No. Well, who gonna say, well, yeah, okay, I did, but I hope they don't convict me. Come on, y'all. That don't even make sense. All right, I gotta get ready to get out of here. Wyatt is up at 5 o'clock. He might already be on there saying, dang, Emanuel, get off the thing so I can start my show. So let me get off the thing so he can start his show. I appreciate everybody for paying attention. And Fran, just don't respond to Ross Freeman or Ross Reelman or Ross whatever he comes up with next. We don't play like that. He might be a lightweight stalker. So I just let him say what he say, and don't encourage him. He get a little hint of attention and then he go like hard as hell. Just on the stupid crazy tip. So yeah, no. Just let him say what he gonna say. You ignore him and life is much better that way. All right, I gotta get ready to get out of here. Because my sister thought, oh, y'all just play like that. No. Not at all. Not at all. Whew. Don't give him no life. Like this, me saying this just elevated it like to the 30-second power. It's not natural and it's not normal. It's not normal and it's not natural. So yeah, you just let him do what he do. I'm being honest. I got to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. It's been the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I hope you have an amazing day. Again, I'm not sure. Pay attention, watch notifications, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if I'm going to come on tonight and watch the State of the Union. But we'll see at around 9 o'clock. So if you want to watch it with me, kind of pay attention and we'll see what happens. Hope you have an amazing day. Hope something amazing happens to you by midnight. Life-changing, okay? Till next time, I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm out, y'all. Peace.